Once upon a time, somewhere out in space, a long, long way away, there was a giant tortoise.
Tortoise?
Yes. Now, you know, space is so big it can hold just about anything. And because it's so big, eventually it does. It holds everything. So there's nothing surprising about seeing a giant tortoise out in space. And this tortoise was 1 million miles long and 100 million miles wide. In fact, it was the widest tortoise anyone has ever seen. But because space is so big, there's probably even a bigger tortoise somewhere. But we're not going to tell the story about the even bigger tortoise. Now, this tortoise had a name, and its name was Ark-Ark, which is a very funny name for a tortoise, because I would call a tortoise Fred or Benny or Joe or Peter. But his name was Ark-Ark.
Ark. Yes.
One day, a spaceship from Earth came, and inside the spaceship was a daddy and his little boy. And the daddy was me, and the little boy was you. We both had our space helmets on. And as we were flying through space, past the moon, past the sun, past the planets of our solar system, which are Mercury, Venus, Earth, of course, Mars.
Mars. I live in Mars.
Saturn.
I live in Mars.
Aliens live on Mars, don't they?
Yeah.
Martians live there.
But the quickie, where the quickie go? The quickie go. The quickie go. Watch this escape from Mars.
Yes.
Escape from Mars.
That's right, they do. So after Mars, we've got what have we got? Saturn. Then we've got Jupiter, and we got Uranus, and then we got Neptune, and I think finally Pluto. I don't know if that was 9 of them, but let's just say it again. Mercury, Venus,
Yes.
Earth, Mars, Saturn, Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto.
I live in Mars.
That's right, aliens do live in Mars. Well, we're both coughing. I don't think we've got COVID virus. I think we've got... Hand me back, please. I think I've just eaten a bit of skin from a grape, and that's what's stuck in my throat. I need to take a drink. Anyway, going on, the little boy went past all the planets. Oh, dear. Out into outer space. And they went past all the stars in the sky and the other planets, and on and deeper into space. Finally, they went through the Milky Way, past all the planets of the Milky Way, which is our galaxy. And then they went to some distant galaxies. That's you and me. And finally, we got to the galaxy where the giant tortoise called Ark-Ark lived. Well, Aidan, that's you, looked out of the window and said, Daddy, look, there's a giant tortoise. And Daddy said, a giant tortoise in the middle of space? It's impossible. Yes, Daddy, look, this tortoise is 100 million miles long and 100 million miles wide. So Daddy looked, and sure enough, there was a tortoise holding up a sign. And the sign said, my name is Ark-Ark. My goodness me, said Daddy, a tortoise who can write English. Never seen that and didn't expect to. But then the more we thought about it, the more we thought space is so big, it can hold just about anything. And of course, because it can hold just about anything, because it's so big, it does. And more than everything. It holds everything and more. So we decided to stop the spaceship to talk to the tortoise. So the first thing we did was put our space helmets on, because when you're out in space, you have to wear space helmets and a spacesuit.
Why?
Because you don't know what the atmosphere is like if you're on a distant planet and if you're out in space, there's no atmosphere at all. That means no air, and you wouldn't be able to breathe.
And if you didn't wear your helmet, what happened?
Well, if you're on a planet with a gas on the planet, but it's not air, well, you'll die because you need oxygen to live. We breathe oxygen. Humans breathe, and all animals, all mammals breathe oxygen. But maybe on another planet they breathe another gas like nitrogen or helium or hydrogen or methane, or I don't know what they breathe, but they could be breathing something completely different on another planet, which would kill us. So we don't know. That's why we wear space helmets. And if we're on a planet which is not too big, there might not be any gas at all, any air or atmosphere. So if there's no atmosphere, then when we took our helmet off, all the air in our lungs would be sucked out, and we'd try and breathe in, but we wouldn't be able to breathe in. We can't breathe in anything. There's nothing there. It's not like when you wave your hand, when I wave my hand or blow, I make a wind, but there wouldn't be anything to blow because there's no air to move. So it depends on the planet. That's why, because you don't know what's on the planet, you wear a space helmet until you know what the atmosphere is made of. If it's made of oxygen and nitrogen like our planet, great. But it has to have exactly the right amount, the right mix of oxygen and nitrogen to be just right for us. If it's another planet, the chances of it being just right aren't very high, and the chances that it's oxygen and nitrogen aren't very high either.
Space helmets?
Yes, we'd have space helmets. So anyway, we've gone to talk to the giant turtle in the middle of space called Ark-Ark.
Ark.
And we're both wearing our space helmets. So we float out of our spaceship, attached by an umbilical cord like tube to make sure we don't float away from our spaceship. And Daddy looked at the turtle in his giant eye, which was about as big as a planet Earth, so it's quite a big eye, and said to the turtle, "Do you speak English?" Now, do you know what the turtle said?
Yeah.
That's right. He said yes. Well, I couldn't believe my eyes. I said, "A turtle which speaks English in the middle of space? A talking turtle? That's very unusual." But, as I said, space is so big it can hold just about anything, including talking turtles, and very big ones at that. So we started to talk about the weather, and space, and spaceships, and I told him what we could find on Earth. Elephants, tigers, lions, monkeys, worms, spiders, teddy bears, snakes. What animal? And then you started telling about your animals. What animals would you tell him about, Aidan?
I'll tell about goats, sheep, and cows. Now, possible.
Indeed, the cows. Monkeys, yes.
Bears.
Oh, yes, bears.
Bears.
Big bears with claws and wet noses.
Yeah.
And what about those animals which are white and live in the fields and have lots of wool?
Whoa. It's sheep.
Sheep, yes. There could be lots of sheep.
But I did this.
You said sheep. What about those animals which lay eggs? What are they called?
Hens.
Hens, yes. And the ones which live on a lake, what are they called? What animals lay eggs that live on a lake? And go quack quack.
Ducks.
Yeah, exactly, ducks. What other animals can you think of?
Cows also.
Yes, cows and mice.
Mice.
Anyway, the turtle was very interested to hear about all these animals, but he wasn't very surprised. He said, "What, a cow which can say moo? That's amazing, that's impossible. But now I think about it," said the turtle, "space is so large it can hold practically anything. So why not a cow which says moo?" And so we explained that the cow was on the planet Earth. He said, "What, a planet called Earth? That's amazing. Well, I suppose space is so big it could hold anything. So why not hold a planet of Earth? In fact, it must hold a planet called Earth. It must hold planets called everything." I'd have to tell you, the turtle was very surprised. He was even surprised to see us. But then he thought, well, since space is so large it can hold anything, it must hold everything. So why not two humans, a father and his son? "That's amazing," said the turtle. And after we'd had a long conversation with the turtle, we also told him about some of the things you find on Earth. What would you tell him about on Earth that's interesting for a turtle? Would you tell him about houses? Would you tell him about playgrounds? Would you tell him about schools or creches or kindergartens?
I can crashes, little gardens,
Yes.
and schools,
Yes.
houses,
Yes.
and also what's called with get a flag.
Oh, castles, you mean?
Oh yes, a castle, and also
Hand of your mouth when you cough.
and that would be it.
That would be it. Well, obviously that was a lot for the turtle to take in because he'd never heard of a castle or a house or a school or anything. He was absolutely astonished. And he listened to you with his eyes wide open as you told him about all these things you can find on Earth. Did you mention the internet or iPads?
Yeah.
He'd be very astonished to hear about those. Anyway, after we'd finished our conversation, we got back in our spaceship and decided to fly back to Earth. So we flew past all the suns in the distant galaxies, then our galaxy into the Milky Way and back through all the stars until we got to our solar system. And then we passed the various planets in our solar system, like starting with the one which is the most far away, Pluto, followed by the next furthest away, which I think is Uranus, isn't it? Yes?
I live in Mars.
You live in Mars?
No, aliens.
Oh, aliens live in Mars. Yes, they do, don't they?
The aliens live in Mars.
And they're called Martians.
Martians.
But you know, it's quite easy to kill an alien. There's one thing aliens just do not like.
There's one way to kill the aliens.
Yeah, do you know what it is they don't like?
It's music.
Music, indeed. If you ever see an alien, just play some music. And that'll be the end of him.
But now I never come now.
No, well, there's a lot of music on the planet Earth, so every time the aliens arrive, they must hear the music and go pop, and that's the end of them.
But the aliens, they come now.
So, do you think the aliens from Mars have come recently? Have you seen any? You haven't seen any, have you? If you have, you'll be sure to tell me, won't you? If you see a flying saucer land in my garden, I want you to tell me.
I'm so scared.
Well, I know you'd be scared. That's why you must tell me if you see one. And the other thing to know is, can you trust aliens?
Yes. No, I don't trust aliens.
I wouldn't trust them. So, if they say, I come in peace, would you believe them?
No,
I wouldn't.
I won't.
If they say, here's some chocolate, would you like to eat it? Would you eat it?
Yeah,
No, not me. I wouldn't trust it. It might be poisonous.
no. Police?
Poisonous means it kills you. If an alien said, come with me, get in my car, would you do so? No, because you can't trust an alien.
Well, we can't.
If an alien said, would you like to have a look at my flying saucer? It's very interesting inside. Would you go inside?
No.
I wouldn't, because he might shut the door and not let you out. So yeah, we've got to be careful. If we ever see a flying saucer land in my garden, you run to tell me as quick as you can, and we'll get our music ready to play. That'll get rid of them.
It will do a head.
So, I think I told you the story about us going up into space and meeting the giant turtle, him telling us about everything he knows, and we told him everything we know about the planet Earth. And then we flew back, landed back on Earth, and Mummy came out of the kitchen and she said, Where have you two been? It's time for dinner. You're late. Well, we were a bit late because it took quite a long time to go all that way. Anyway, she was a bit cross, but not that cross. So we sat down and ate our dinner. And what do you think she'd cooked for dinner?
I don't know.
Shall I tell you?
No.
She had cooked baked beans with rice. Now, I wanted toast with my baked beans and rice. What about you? Do you like toast with baked beans and rice?
I like toast and beans. Baked beans.
So you have toast with baked beans on top. That's what she served us. And we both got a drink. Do you know have a guess what the drink was?
Water.
Water it was indeed. Delicious, cool water. We loved the drinking water. And then it was time for bed, which is just where we are now. And we went upstairs, all of us, and we had a story. And the story was, well, funny enough, it was about a little boy and his daddy went up in a spaceship to visit a giant turtle in outer space and came back, had their dinner and went to bed and told the story. And the story, oh, hang on, this is going round in circles. Yep, the story was the same story about a giant turtle going to talk to the turtle, coming back to Earth, having dinner, then going to bed, and Daddy telling a story. And the story was about a giant turtle. Well, I think we're going round in circles here. But now we've got there. We're now in bed. You are, rather. And it's now time for you to close your eyes and go to...
Sleep.
Indeed, sleep it is. Are you tired?
No.
Are you not tired? Would you like to play?
Yeah.
Would you like to go for a run?
Oh, no.
Would you like to chase me? You can be an alien and I can be a human being, frightened, and you chase me.
Why? I will get my gun.
Or would you like to have, maybe you have a lie down and then we do it later after you've had a little, close your eyes for a few minutes.
I'm not tired.
Well, did you sleep for a long time today?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was sleeping for a long time. Tony after a bit tall. Tony, I was not tired.
I'm not tired. All right. Well, what we're going to do now, I'm going to tuck you in, tell you a little goodnight kiss, give you a goodnight kiss, and then you're going to close your eyes because you will be feeling a bit tired. It's just the time for sleep now, isn't it? And we'll stop the story as well. So, do you want to say any last thing about the story and the giant turtle before I stop it? Or have you said it all? You said it all.
I just said that all.
Did you like the story of the visit to the giant turtle?
Yeah.
No, it was a turtle. It was a tortoise, wasn't it? Not a turtle. Do you think it's true that space holds just about everything?
Yeah.
I think it's true. It is so big. It just goes on forever, ever and ever and ever. Well, there are some people say there's an edge to the universe, but I'm not so sure. Some people say if you get to the edge of the earth, of the universe, you'll come out the other side. Well, again, I'm not so sure. They used to say if you sailed to the end of the ocean, you'd fall off the edge of the earth. Well, they proved that one wrong, because it turned out the earth is round, and you could sail all around the world, from one side of the world to the other. It's just like a football.
It's like a football going round.
It is, isn't it?
It's like a football going round.
Okay. Now, do you know how to do sums?
Yeah.
What sums do you know?
I know.
Ask me a question.
6 plus 7.
6 plus 7.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a tricky one. Shall we count to 6 first? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we'll add another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 plus 6 we know is 12. Okay, let's do it. Here's 6. Count the first 6. I've got 6 fingers out. Count them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay, now here's 7 fingers. Count the 7.
Oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Now count the 6. Keep going. 7. What comes after 7? 8.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14.
13 is the right answer. 6 plus 7 is 13.
Daddy plus 6 plus 8.
6 plus 8. Well, if 6 plus 7 is 13, as 8 is only one more than 7, 6 plus 8 must be 14. 13, 14. Add 1. That's a bit difficult to understand, isn't it? But I can promise you 6 plus 8 is 14.
Do you know 8 plus... you do 7 plus 9?
7 plus 9. Yes, I can do it. I know the answer already, but I think it's too difficult for little boys. 7 plus 9 is 16, but it's too difficult for you. You're only 3.5.
Can you put the fingers?
Yes. Okay, we'll start with the 9. Here's 9. Then when you've done 9, I'll put up 7 and you carry on counting. So here's 9. Off you go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So that's 6, 9. And what was it, 6 plus 9? Was it 6 or 7 plus 9? 7
10.
plus. Okay, 10 plus 9. I don't know what you said.
It's an easy one.
Give me an easy one, like 1 plus 1.
Easy.
What can you give me which is easy? Small numbers.
What is plus? What's it? Plus 7 plus 8.
7 plus 8 is 15.
15. That's easy. Easy.
What's 2 plus 1?
1.
No.
Wait.
2 plus 1 is how many?
2.
No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5.
No.
What?
Try again. 2 plus 1 is how many?
This? Can I count this?
Oh, you counted a finger which should be up. Okay. I've got 2 fingers here in one hand and 1 finger up in the other. 2 plus 1 makes how many?
1, 2, 3. 3.
Correct. 2 plus 1 makes 3. And now we'll stop because it's taxing your brain a lot to do these difficult questions. But you will remember 2 plus 1 makes 3. You're right.